Hey there, guys and gals. This is Nathan. Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Coloring Tips and Tricks. Today's episode is number 27, and today we're learning about colorizing your line art. If you're not familiar, first off, with setting up your line art, I'll put a link in the description for episode 2 of the Tips and Tricks series, and I'll show you the whole walkthrough process. If you are familiar with it, let's go ahead and take a look at... these are some pages from the template series I had done for QAM Comics. It's written by Quentin Miles and art by Andres Quezada. And I'll put the link to QAM Comics and Andres' DeviantArt account in the description as well, so you can check out more of their stuff. So here's a page. All this stuff is already colored. It's already up on Comixology. Let's see. So I have my art, the line art, already up on its own layer, and that's the flats, and here's the colors. So what I kind of want to show, for example, a lot of the stuff I'll mainly use the colorizing line art for more effect, help show the art more clearly, where the eye should be focusing, or maybe there's something getting in the way. You kind of want to push it back into the background. I'll use colorizing the line art for that, or just to help show depth in storytelling reasons. So for here, for instance, we have the she's going to grab this microchip, and then she takes this guy and snaps his neck, right before, or actually he's going to pick it up, and she snaps his neck and then takes it off of him and then laughs at him as he's dead. But see, you could tell, the panel takes place for the most part inside of the snap lettering effects. And I kind of showcased a little bit more with the red and not having any rendering inside of the letters as well. Kind of helps showcase that a little bit more. But then I also colorized the line art, and that makes it even more obvious. You see the snap even more. It just kind of helps pop off the page a little bit more. So the black inside of the shadows kind of shows up along with everything else. But with that color on it, it helps sell it a little bit more. You're mainly looking at the snap effect, of her snapping the guy's neck. So that's one way that I'll achieve that look. But before I get too in depth with how to use, different ways to use it, let's talk about how to set this up. So we have our line art on its own layer, no background, so you can see the checkerboard behind it, right? This isn't going to work, if you just set your line art to multiply. It has to be on its own layer, just the black line art, no white behind it. So a couple different ways. Let me get rid of this mask, or this layer for us. Okay, we're gonna work on these letters again. Let me make sure I got my lasso set up. Feather 0, anti-alias off. So what we can do, we can either make a selection of the line art, and then we can kind of go in with our pencil tool, which is on the brush menu. It's the second one down, pencil, and we can pick our color, of what we want. And I just hid my selection there. That way, the marching ants don't get in the way, and then you can color it like this. The problem with that, though, is like sometimes, see like the line art here isn't anti-aliased. You can see a little bit of gray in it, and you'll get like this kind of mess going on. So this here only works if it's aliased, or if you're sorry, confusing myself. This line art is aliased, so you have to make sure it's anti-aliased, and you can do that by running like a threshold on it to kind of clean it up a little bit. But usually, if this is the way I receive the artwork, then this is the way I'll keep it. But you see this way here, you can if you go over it a couple more times, you'll get like those colors. You get those grays out of it. It's just like the transparency of it. Sorry, that's just my Wacom stylus going up against the glasses. I'm pushing down really hard trying to get those out of there. So that's one way we can go about it. But again, usually doesn't look too hot. So let me fill that back with black again. So next way, which is the way I've seen a lot of people do it, we can go ahead and we'll make a selection, or let me see. let me do a new layer first, and then we'll make a selection, and then we'll do a quick mask or layer mask, which is this little guy down here in the bottom corner. And that'll make it so we could fill this in with whatever color. Oops, let me do that on the... There you go. So we're gotta make sure we're actually on the layer and not on the layer mask trying to fill it like I just was. Doesn't work out like that. But see, if I hit Shift, I can temporarily disable this. You can see this is what my selection was. So I could go all along here and work this out, you know, fill all that in, but then I go ahead and take that back. That this layer mask is keeping it to this artwork here. Let's go ahead and make that a proper color here. Where's that darker red? A little bit darker than that. Yeah, there you go. So you can see that kind of works, but we're still kind of getting into this area down here. We're still a little bit jaggy. So again, not the best option for the for aliased artwork, where you still have little grays in it and stuff. Not the best option, but another way we can do it. Let's see, my favorite way, and I think to me it's the easiest way. Let's do a new layer, and what we could do, we can either, let's see, how is it? You can either right click on it, or if you're on a Mac, hold Control and click on the layer. You can hit Create Clipping Mask. That'll turn that layer into a clipping mask. Or I think there's, if I can find it, is it Alt? Yeah, if you Alt or Option key, and right in between here, see you get that little space, the arrow pointing down. That'll turn it into a clipping mask. You can unclip it very easily. If you just do it on there, it doesn't do anything. You have to do it like right in between the two guys, and that'll make the top layer clip to the bottom one. Or what you can do is like, let me go ahead and delete that layer. When you're creating a new layer, you can go ahead and use previous layer to create clipping mask. So you can see it's already there, it's already clipped. And now what I can do with my brush tool, and it doesn't have to be the pencil tool. It could be any of your brushes. You know, here I have like a little cloudy type of effect brush that I was using on a different project. Let me see my hard brush here. And you can see this, it uses the bottom layer, which is the line art, as a clipping mask, meaning if I unclip this, release clipping mask, it's all just one big blotch. But what it's going to do, it's clipping to what's underneath. So even those gray pixels are being used to clip, and you're only going to see that red color that I'm putting up on top. So it really comes in handy. So those are the three ways. I really like the clipping one the best. I mean, used to be you couldn't always use it just because you didn't want to have like too many layers and stuff like that. But with computing power nowadays and RAM being so cheap, it's ridiculous not to use it. Let's see. So yeah, I don't know why I'm coloring all the rest of it, but hopefully you guys get the point of it. Yeah, I think the clipping mask for me is the most efficient, and it's also great. You can also like lock down this guy right here. It locks the transparent pixels. So if I go with, say, like this blue color here, if I go over here, it's not going to do anything because that's transparent. There's nothing on this layer besides this guy right here where I already colored. And everything else is transparent. So you can see it kind of in the thumbnail here, what they're talking about. But if I color in here, where that color is, that's going to change to that color. So it makes for really quick. I could even just hit my Alt-Option key and delete and fill that. And it's only going to fill that area where there's pixels already on that layer. which comes in handy. You know, it's like, oh, okay, let's go ahead and change that to green, or you know, let's change it to pink. You want to try out different colors on your color holds, or your knockouts or whatever. You can, and it's really fast and easy to do that. I forgot to mention another way that we can do it on the line art is to go ahead and use that lock transparent, because again, our line art is on a separate layer. It's just the black pixels on a transparent background. Again, if you had it on multiply, you would have the white and the black. Even though it's set to multiply, you're only seeing the black. The white would still be there, and this none of these effects would work on that. So we can go ahead and lock the transparency pixels, and we can go ahead and color in that. And this works great because you can see we're also getting those gray pixels, you know, where they're half filled with black. Up along here, you can see that's filling that in as well. But the problem is now, if we want to go in and change that color, it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to do. Not saying we can't do it, you know, but we'll have to go ahead and make our selection all over again, you know, where we want that to be done, because everything is done on this one layer. If we do the layer with the clipping mask, you know, we can always go in and make changes easily on the fly, you know, revisions for editors or what have you. So we can see, again, this is one way that I like to use it, just to help the storytelling, you know, help the artist, penciler inker team, or just the penciler inker slash whatever, you know, the guy that does the art, help them realize their vision in a smoother way, in a better way, make it more easily readable to the reader. All right, so we have that, you know, where I just did it in the lettering for effect. Here's another way, just kind of help pop out, you know, some effects. We have some signage here in the background, kind of help sell a little bit more of a city mood. This is what I was given as far as the black and white, and I wasn't really sure what was going on back here, like how to sell it. And one thing I did, you know, when I did the colors, you know, I made it dark and moody back here, and trying to help push our focus onto Beta here in the foreground. But she was still kind of getting lost, so I mainly had like the brighter colors on her and a little bit more purple over here on the sides, and it helped, you know, but there's still a little bit going on. So what I did is, like, I used let me go ahead and release this clipping mask. You can see it's not quite black. You see the difference here. It's like a dark navy blue, I guess. And let me clip that back, and you can see it does really help push her forward a bit more. Even though it's a very subtle difference, I probably could have went a little bit lighter on that. You know, not too much, because I don't want it to be like that, and then it gets ridiculous where the colors are darker than the line art. You know, it starts looking like this guy right here. But you know, just that tiny little bit of difference between the black and that dark blue color, you know, really helps out a lot and adds some depth to it. And you know, adding this more to the signs as well, using, you know, what was drawn and making it into a neon sign, you know, will help sell it. And this here is supposed to be a some kind of like the X-Men Danger Room, you know, simulation room. So I just kind of wanted to add a little bit more tech to it, you know, so I made it like a greenish color to kind of make that happen a little bit more. And then to help sell it, we just added the glows on top of that. But you can see, in just adding depth and like making sure the focus is on this character here, and she's not getting lost with everything in the background, and you know, kind of carrying that through down here as well, where, you know, we're not focusing on this guy in the background or anything. Our focus should be on her, and that helps it out a lot. Another great use is like on screens. Let me take those off of there. So we have the screens, and I just added in like this this grid type of stuff here. Wasn't really giving any feed as far as like what should be in there, so I just had like some circuitry, whatever, you know. It looks kind of high tech, fits the world of template, I guess. You know, so I just went ahead and did like the outline of the screens, to help make it separate from everything else. And then on these guys as well, help those screens pop out. And you can see down here, it's like this lightish gray, or at least it looks like it is. It's actually black, but on the page it looks gray. And then just kind of fill it with the blue, help sell it as a screen. So another way to do it. And again, I just really like using the clipping mask. It's nice and easy and fast. And again, helping sell like the depth of the piece, where here it's a little bit tougher to decipher. Is this panels or exactly what's going on? How the depth is set up in the panel. So I just want to help sell that a little bit more. Again, you can see I did it with the colors. A little bit more blue back here, and even in the soldier guy, a little bit more blue on him, just to help push this forward guy more, and also added the glow to help your eye focus more on that. And this guy back here is kind of like an afterthought. He's doing the same thing as this guy, but your eye is focused on here. It's a little bit lighter, more blues and purples back here. And same thing with the guys, back here, nice bright. I guess it's a teal color up against this, really drab, purplish gray color. And again, just kind of lighten up the line art just a tad, a little bit more purple to it, and that's really pushing it back and selling the idea that this guy here is in the foreground, this guy here is more in the background. And same thing with the stairs here and this back wall. So it reads a little bit more like, oh, okay, they're on it's like some kind of subway platform, and this is like, pushed back, there could be a train coming through here at any minute, type of effect. And yeah, so those are like the main ways that I like to use colorizing the line art. I mean, you could do it on, I've seen it done like on people's hair, on eyeballs, to make them appear a little bit more realistic. I think it really depends on the style. But I think with these tricks, lettering on neon signs and stuff like that, on screens and on backgrounds, just to help add a little bit more depth and help push figures forward, or move stuff backwards. I think those are kind of universal, usually fit over any kind of style. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. If you want to see more of my color work, you can check out my DeviantArt page. It's lummage.deviantart.com. I also have a Facebook fan page you should check out. It's facebook.com/lummage1, and that's the number 1. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber yet, please do. I try and upload a video once a week at least. Usually it's on Fridays. Yeah, that's going to do it for this week, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.